Hello, my name is Madani Arya. I'm the director of Sub Business Academy. I'm hosting this podcast about setting up a charity. I have been working in the accounts field for a long time, particularly in the charity sector. Helped and advised many small businesses with startup procedures and in implementing suitable accounting systems. When I worked for a charity involved with lots of small charities, my job was to achieve a financial system for all their small charities. SAT Business Academy provides business consultancy and tips, writing ebooks, books, creating online courses, and coaching. What is a charity? A charity is an organization that exists mainly to enable one group to assist another group, whether it is a group of people, animals, nature, or another cause. Numerous of the best known charities are put in place by people who felt enthusiastic about the situation or subject. How does a charity help people? Many charities possess the same goal, to eliminate problem they are against and cease to exist. Sadly, most charities cannot attain either the objective, as the issues are too significant for one charity to demolish, or not enough people are donating or becoming involved. Charity function is a community effect, not secure a job for a single person or a group. Fundraising for charities. How will we fundraise for charities? This is a very important one, so people should know about this. Fundraising ideas. Fundraising ideas for charity comes in many forms and other different levels of success. Success of a fundraising event would depend on many things. The goal is to raise as much money as possible during the event. One of the oldest and most effective fundraising ideas for charity is to have a tin can or hat passed around. Not everyone will contribute to the tin, but there might be some people who will like to give a little bit more. These loose change and builds up would amount to a significant sum of money. You can also see now in stores and shops a tin can with the name of certain foundations displayed on the counter for donations. One of the more popular fundraising ideas for charity would be selling tickets for raffles. It would include a prize that would give out to someone holding the winning ticket. The winning awards range from a bottle of wine, television, or even a car. Raffles can be more fun, but sometimes do not generate that much fund for the charity. Marketing strategies to raise funds for charities. A charity must consider inbound marketing because it is cost effective, increasing visitors to your website, converting visitors into fundraisers. What is inbound marketing? Inbound marketing is blogging, websites, SEO, webinars, podcasts, and creating excellent content. Charity financial reporting. Charities have to prepare the financial reporting on time. To understand what you need to do for the charity, first check whether your charity is also a company or a charitable incorporated organization. Decide, depending on income for the current financial year, the value of assets, whether required to register as a charity. You should then establish what type of accounts you must prepare, what information to give in your trustee's annual report, whether your accounts need an independent examination or audit, what information must send to your charity commission. If you must send your charity's yearly message and accounts to Charity Commission you must do within 10 months of the end of the charity's financial year. Charity accounting. How do we do the charity accounting? I have been an accountant for some charities, and I have done a lot of accounting work. A charity is an organization that must be of benefit to the public. It can be a charity educating underprivileged, removing poverty, or even help with health issues. Overall, it must establish for the public benefit. Charities will have to set up according to the Commission's laws, and they cannot make profits. Charities are not allowed to make profits. The excess money a charity has earned has to go towards a purpose that is in the legal and administrative document. The charity accounting. Charities will have to prepare the following set of accounts: annual accounts, annual report, submit the annual return to the Charity Commission. Annual accounts. The staff or volunteer could make the yearly accounts, but ensure to implement proper accounting systems. The following records have to be maintained: purchase ledger, sales ledger, nominal ledger, bank accounts need reconciliation, payroll, make payments to HMRC, receipts and payment records, accruals. You have to establish whether your charity needs an independent examination or audit. Annual report. This is normally prepared by the charities, and it contains charities' activities in a particular period. The event started in the story helps the people understand what the charity does to benefit the public. The annual report mentions the funders, a list of donors stated in the description. The charity has to put together the accounts and the annual report to submit to the Charity Commission. Annual report to Charity Commission. How do you prepare? Who prepares the annual report? How do you prepare? Trustees prepare the annual report. And what does it contain? Annual report will have the activities. The charity has planned activities and plans to carry them out. Call to action, requesting donations. Write a clear call to action, those appeals to the public to donate to your charity. Submit annual return to the Charity Commission. There are different types of requirements for small charities, small, medium, and large charities. If your charity registered with the company's house, submit annual accounts to company's places, company's house, and Charity Commission. The annual return includes the following: your charity yearly income for the current financial year, total assets owned by the charity, whether your charity is an independent one or part of another charity. The trustees of the charity should be able to understand what type of accounts need to prepare, what information required by the charities for the annual report, whether the charity accounts need an independent examination or an audit, that they have to know. Then, what information sent to the Charity Commission? Send your annual accounts and report to Charity Commission within 10 months of the end of the charity's financial year. If you want transparency of your charity's work, you could send it before that period, so the commission will make it public. The interested people can view it. Annual report. The report will include all charitable activities in a particular period. Trustees prepare the annual report. I have said this before also. The event started in the story helps the people understand more about the charities. How does volunteering help in charities? Most of the charities have volunteers. Almost all the charities have volunteers. Why do charities need volunteers? What is volunteering? Volunteering is one of the best gifts that you can give to benefit the people in need. Some of the well-known charity shops like Oxfam run by volunteers. Volunteering gives you self-confidence, experience, the opportunity to use that in another job. Some pensioners, if they cannot go into paid employments, start to volunteer in charities to pass their time. The charity has paid staff, volunteers go along with that asset of the organization. Generally, volunteers do a great job of assisting the paid staff in raising fund and some administrative work. What do the volunteers do? Volunteers usually participate in running the activities, fundraising events, giving publicity, and making a valuable contribution in preparing annual reports and paid staff. They make the best use of the opportunity as volunteer, learning new things to grow their self-confidence and prepare themselves to go into paid jobs. When volunteering, you have the chance to develop your work discipline, timekeeping, collaborate, and work with the paid staff. Also maintain good working relationship with the volunteer coordinator, which helps you in the future. They will give you they will recommend you to the paid jobs. Volunteers are an asset to the company. What are the best skills you need to run a charity? I have been involved with the charity for a long time, with various charities like Children Charity, Law Center, Domestic Violence Projects, Housing Association, teaching schools, and many more. I have seen many types of people working volunteering who possess many different skills. But the thing is, I was involved in the finances, so I never had the opportunity to mix around with the volunteers or outsiders. All but I had to mix around with the staff and the management. That said, even though I was an accountant, I was in the accounting field in all the charities, I have taken part in many fundraising work, like writing bids and fundraising events. Do you have what it takes to make it in the charity sector? I'm showing you some excellent skills that you need to impress people who plan to run a charity. If you want to join a childcare charity, you must demonstrate your enthusiasm for looking after kids. Not every one of us can be good at looking after kids. Therefore, same applies to any other charity sector. Join and work for them. How to set up a charity shop with no money? If you have no money, you will find it extremely difficult to set up the charity shop and run. They are starting a charity shop with no money. Not that difficult if you have the grant mission to serve the community. But the thing is, when there is no funding, they think the owners of the charity, I mean the people who run the charity, they think they can depend on funding. But that may not work all the time. There is always an uncertainty whether this charity will last for a specified period. The funders might stop funding for a few reasons: irregularities in your services or change their policies. So, the other way to find funding for a charity shop where there is no money is to accept donations from people who are ready to give you unwanted things from, from them. And some companies also make the donations to sell it and make money. There is a possibility that you can survive for a while. The purpose of setting up a charity is to provide help to the people who need that help from you. Say you want to provide educational support, health assisting the underprivileged, and then you can set up a charity. Nowadays, it's not easy to find funding because everything is expensive and the people will be reluctant to offer funding for you. When thinking about fundraising for your charity, you have to employ very experienced staff to raise funds for you. They are expensive. Can you afford them? No, you can't afford because you are already have intentions to start a charity with no money. So how can you pay these people? If not, it becomes to hire someone. It represents the capital funding that charities receive from the donors, so the trustees take responsibility to invest or spend the charitable. When the charity's accounting staff doing accounts have to allocate the income and expenditure according to the type of funding they have received, then it becomes possible to find the balance of the funds at any point in time. It needs regularly doing, and in the event if someone finds out mistakes made in the spending pattern of the restricted funding, they could face a severe problem. Therefore, the urgency to maintain funding accounts is unavoidable. Charities fund accounting for reports. The main difference in the way of maintaining accounts of charity and a business is funding account, accounting for funding. Fund accounting for charities split the income and expenditure charges into several categories according to the purpose of funding received from the funders. Let me look at the different types of funding normally a charity could receive. Unrestricted funding, restricted funding, designated funds, endowment funding. Well, when the charity's accounting staff doing their accounts have to allocate the income and expenditure according to the type of funding they have received, then it becomes possible to find the balance at any time. It needs regularly doing, carefully doing. If someone finds a mistake made in the spending pattern of the restricted funding, they could face a severe problem. You could lose your funding at the same time. They can close down your charity as well. The reason for you to account for a restricted funding carefully, if you mistake allocating the expenditure for the restricted funds, the accounts at the end of the year will show a surplus in the limited funds. That is not correct. They might ask you to pay back or expect you to do more activities using the surplus fund. Therefore, what will happen is you will end up spending more money that you do not have and face severe cash flow problem in the end. That might put pressure on you to raise additional funding. Reserves policy. Every charity needs to have a reserves policy and establish a level of appropriate funds, amounts of funds kept in the reserves for the charity to use in the event of losing some of the funding. The restricted fund does not contribute to reserves policy, but it will impact the reserves policy. A charity having some reserves will influence the funders to take action to help the charity. They will be, if you have the funds, if you have a reserves policy, they will come to, they will come forward to help you in funding. I hope you like this podcast. I can talk about it more and more, but it is, I think it's I have given the enough information, important information if you have the intention to start a charity. If you need help, you can contact me. I am here to help you all. Thank you very much for listening to my podcast. Thank you. Bye for now.